Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here at All Access Live with Kevin Rankin. I would love it if you'd do me a favor. Go to the link below. Go to youtube.com/@accesskevin and subscribe to this channel. There, you can get access to over 300 episodes with amazing guests, and you can also become a member. So members get access to videos behind the scenes with folks like Kelly Keegi from Night Ranger back in his studio, checking out his platinum records. You can see Ginger Lynn at her private abode. So lots of great episodes for members, but if nothing else and you wanted to go the free route, just subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like and share this video, and don't mind my crazy pug prowling for me here at the bottom. My next guest, a really, really cool dude. You might know his band Yellow Snow, but all the way from his place in Nashville, we've got Mike DiBiase. How you doing, buddy?
Good. I think my dog's doing the same thing. He's gnawing on a bone, so you might hear him in a minute too.
That is awesome. Yeah, well, Edgar Allan Pug here. He likes to be on camera, so yeah.
Oh, and we have Gretsch Weiland Van Halen.
Oh no way! What's Gretsch? What kind of dog?
He's a golden doodle.
Oh, I love him.
So he's got the same punk attitude as Scott Weiland, so he fits just right.
I love it, man. Well, yeah, my mom's got a golden doodle too. They're great dogs, the sweetest.
And a little too smart for their own good. That's kind of the problem.
But loyal as hell, man.
Very loyal. Very loyal.
Hopefully I get to meet Gretsch one of these days. So, hey, I mentioned, obviously, your band, Yellow Snow. This is the holiday season right now. And so you've got a holiday-themed record around the Christmas time. So new singles coming out. You just had Father Christmas as one of the singles. You also have Man in Red. So there's an official video out there. Check that out.
Yeah, so we have our first record finally, and we'll have time to go through it, but it took a long time to make. It's not quite a Chinese democracy, but similar.
Yeah.
So it's called Yellow Snow Volume 1, and the two singles are Father Christmas and Man in Red. And Father Christmas is kind of just our full of energy rock kind of feeling, and then Man in Red is an original song that we wrote. So we have a good mixture of classics, reimagined old school stuff. When I was a kid, I don't know about you, but I used to love the Rankin Bass, the claymation, the heat motor, and all that. So kind of like taking some of our fun songs from that and turning them into, rock and roll that you and I would want to listen to.
Yeah, rock and roll. You mentioned old school too. There's like a little bit of a soul vibe with the horns, which is really, really cool too. So
I think the coolest thing of this is the horns. So the horn section has really got that Stax vibe. So it's not just a horn section; it's like a horn section with attitude. So the players are great. Bill Holloman and Kurt Ram, and they just have this attitude when they play that competes with the horns. So it's great because they fit together nicely, but they both have an attitude. So it's a really cool way to play off each other.
When you guys are doing live shows, because I've seen live clips of you guys out there, and so are you bringing that whole section with you? You guys like stacking all those horns on stage?
Yeah, we just played Third and Lindsley in Nashville, and I don't think there was more than 5 feet around you that you could step. So we had about 14 people on stage.
Oh God, that is awesome.
Yeah. So we had the whole horn section, and they're loud as hell, which is awesome, but they're loud. So we had the horn section, 2 guitar players, keyboards, background vocalist, lead vocalist, drums. I mean, it was crazy. But I think that is the thing of Yellow Snow, is the vibe of that, and the interaction the crowd has with us on stage is really what makes it. So to kind of do an acoustic thing, or to do, even when the horns leave for a couple of the rock songs like Father Christmas, everyone goes, man, you should really have your whole set with the horns. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I know. Let's one thing at a time. But yeah, we try to get everybody up there, and I think that's the only way to really do it.
When you mentioned Third and Lindsley, so you guys are in Nashville. Did you meet these guys when you moved out to Nashville?
So we kind of have this idea of, I like to call us more of a brand than a band. So we have people who play on the record, we have people who play live, and kind of just depends on the scenario. But a bunch of the guys who played on the record actually were playing with us on stage. So it's sort of old school guys, which actually I flew in the 3 of the original vocalists from the band. So the project started like a long time ago, and these guys had been on the albums from the very beginning, like 20 years of us doing this stuff. So we flew in those guys, and then we had guys who were on the record. They came in and played. And to be honest with you, some of the songs, we just had written some new songs. I hadn't heard them in total until the night of the show when we were doing rehearsals. The horn section came in, and it was the first time I actually heard the horns playing it. I had the arrangement and I had them all cut, but I didn't hear them live. So it was quite the treat. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of times where we kind of just do guests who come up, but it can be anybody, and that's kind of the cool thing of this is the different vocalists and the different artists who play with us really make it unique, and it's never boring. It's always something new and different.
Right. Yeah. And because Nashville, it's a very diverse sort of musical culture too, right? So when you mentioned flying these guys in, do you have plans to take that band out? You gonna do some touring with them?
I think next year we're going to start doing that. It's funny because we started it in Rhode Island, and I got to a point where for an unsigned band doing charity Christmas concerts, we were getting like 500 people coming to our shows. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that's pretty good. We got a good start. And then I come here and then I'm going, oh man, now I got to start all over again. We only had 80 people come out to the show, and you're going, I got to build it back up. But totally, we definitely want to do a touring thing. But the cool thing about the Nashville guys and gals is when I approach them with this and I say it, there's three things I got to get past. One is when I tell them it's a Christmas record. So you're like, oh man. I go, no, it's not what you think when I say Christmas. And then the second one is they listen to it and they go, oh, that's kind of cool. And then until they get up on stage and play, they don't get it. But every time I've had a bunch of people, doesn't matter how, famous they are or not, when they finish the show, they're like, can I come back and play with you guys next year? Because this is so much fun. And everybody who's even the country guys here, they'll go, oh man, I love getting to do a rock gig because we are always doing country gigs. So for them, they also love to do it too. So it's kind of a win-win.
Right on, man. You know what? You mentioned it being more of a rock thing. I'm going to put your sizzle reel on. I want people to kind of get a chance to hear this. So let's check them out. Here's Yellow Snow. This is the 2025 sizzle reel. Man, that is so good. Yeah, I had to make sure I added the little Christmas theme here in the video.
I was looking at that going, oh man, did we add that? When
yeah, yeah, it's appropriate, right? We can. It's important to have some thematic thing going here. So I think you're glistening. This is good.
Sleigh bells ring. Are you glistening?
That God, man, that horn section. I love that Barry sax sound in there. That just gives us some depth.
So the Barry guy on the record is Bill Holloman, and if you don't know him, he's one of the best in the biz. He's so good, and that's what I was kind of saying about the horns, man. Is Kurt and Bill have such a personality when they play, and they arranged all the horns. Everything was their arrangement, and they're so good. And again, they got it before I got it, and I sent it to him and said, "Hey guys, I would love to do horns on the Grinch and a couple of songs." And I got this original song. And when they sent it back, I mean, it was basically what you heard the first time through, and they just got it. And you're right. That Barry is just so, especially when it's live, it's so full and beefy and big and drives. It's so cool.
Yeah, man. Probably the best thing going on in Nashville right now. We were talking about that before we went live, that scene on Broadway, tourists are attracted to the novelty of Nashville, right? And you as a transplant, I'm sure it was a shock, right? When you first go there and not knowing about some of the back alley, country bars and some of the traditional stuff, you may be dismayed, right? But we talked about that a lot of the tourist attracted venues are Journey, Bon Jovi, like Def Leppard songs. And like, that's not what you want to go to Nashville for, right?
No, and luckily I've had friends here. So the two guys who really helped me with this project was Mike Fiorentino and Brian Kunitz. And Mikey still lives in Nashville. And I was super lucky that I've been friends with them, and they've been able to sort of say, hey dude, you don't want to do the Broadway thing. You want to go to a writer's night, and you want to go to this club or this bar that's legit old school country with fiddles and So I was lucky. So the thing is when I have friends come in, they want to go to Broadway. So I send them down there with my fiance. They go down and they do that. I don't go. But you know, the concept is cool, you know, kind of window shopping for bands.
Yeah.
You know, you get to go through. But yeah, I mean, when I'm thinking Nashville, and the thing is, even those players are just they're so damn good. It's like even though they're playing cover songs, you're going, they're so good. And I get stuck and I will get stuck, you know, staring into a window and watch it. But you know, the other thing too is when we started making this record and I started coming down here, it was a while ago. And I didn't know, to your point, the back alley rock and roll scenes and the back alley hip hop stuff and all of this kind of stuff that really is Nashville. That, you know, once you're here and you have the inn and you know people, it's such a cool town with such a diverse musical background. And that's what's really cool about it. And I don't think you ever really get anybody who's too cool to do one genre or another. It's so great. And the artists are just, you know, you're playing with some of the best people in the world and you're watching and you just kind of have to step back every once in a while and go, I'm watching some pretty great, you know, players right now. And that's the coolest part of Nashville to me.
I'm with you, man. Even if you go to Broadway and you see those things, you may be tired of hearing those same cover tunes, but you know that the guy that's up playing that Def Leppard song could play circles around most people anywhere else in the world. Just like he's making money. And dude, props to somebody playing music, but making money, making a living.
Right.
You know, so you mentioned recording, and this world is a much different place right now in terms of recording. Did you actually bring a studio with you when you came down to Nashville, or did you create something when you got there?
So for the album, we actually came down a while ago and we recorded at Sound Emporium here in Nashville, Sound Emporium and Quad. And we did the basic tracks there. And then, but to your point is we would go to people's personal studios and we would cut guitars and all that stuff. And then I would fly back to Rhode Island and do overdubs with the vocals with the guys and everything. But, you know, it's an interesting world that we're living in because a lot of artists, they do have their own studios and it's not, you know, GarageBand and a microphone. I mean, some people even here is when you go and when I came back the second time, we went to do the keyboards at Dave Cohen's place. He's got a grand piano. He's got a B3. He's using, you know, Neve mic pre's and it's the same as what you're going to be cutting in a studio. So I really love that is because you can go to a big boy room, record drums, and then, you know, you can then cut your stuff, the rest of the stuff here. But at some point in the next year, we're going to try to probably do the same thing, have a studio, build up our own studio. So volume 2 hopefully can be done in the Yellow Snow studio.
Are you gonna keep with a thematic sort of thing, or are you like?
I don't know. I mean, why not? And you know, we were going through so many things, and I'm going. I just have so much of this material is already ready to be recorded. I'm going, kind of like the name we talked about. There's nothing special about it, so I think we might just roll with the generic volume titles too.
Yeah,
just keep volume 1, 2, and 3.
Absolutely, man. Why mix up a good thing, right? You mentioned that you moved out there with your partner, right? So it's an interesting thing for me to talk to other musicians who migrate to a music town, with a wife or girlfriend or a partner that may not be in the business, right? Because if you try to explain to them, here's the importance of going to a city that actually has music as its focus.
Yeah.
You know, I did the same thing, moving to Portland, Oregon, or at least the West Coast out of Montana. Right. And I wanted to get out of like the snow and move to a place where it's a little bit more metropolitan. And so there's a sell, you know, that you have to do to be able to go to that area. So what was your pitch and how well received was it to go to Nashville?
So luckily, it was actually the opposite way around. Is Yana is she's a CRNA anesthetist.
Okay.
So she actually has a traveling job where she can choose what hospital she wants to go to.
Nice.
And when we were in Rhode Island, I was going, I don't know what else there is for me to do here. It's kind of, you know, if we want to start being around other musicians, or we want to be just in a different climate, a different environment, a different adventure. So she's got good luck. I got bad luck. She started looking, and I took her to LA. I took her to Nashville. We went to a whole bunch of places, and I said, what would you like to try? And actually, the first time she came to Nashville, she looked at me and said, I kind of like Nashville. This is kind of cool. And she knows nothing about music. You know, she's, you know, more just a listener, has nothing, you know, nothing in the industry or the business. and she got a job in Kentucky. So we made a deal. We said, why don't we come out and try it? And we've been out here since March. And she said, I'll travel to Kentucky for 3 days. I'll work. And you stay in Nashville and you work on Yellow Snow, get the record done, release it. And let's see how we feel after a little while. And I said, I was going very slow. I'm going, well, we'll see what happens. It depends if you like it. I mean, we weren't here 3 weeks and she's like, I love it. We're staying. Let's find a place.
Wow.
So,
right on.
And I do have to say the people here are so kind and sweet. And, again, not to beat a dead horse, but the musicians are also, I mean, all the players, all the musicians, they all want to help you. They all want to be part of your project, so that's a really cool thing. And, and again, Yana is not being in this industry. She's going, I really like this guy and I really like this girl and they're so nice and this is where you should be. So let's do it. We can both find a common ground. So it was less of a sell for me. She was like, I love it. And it's warmer than Rhode Island. So she's
right.
Like,
oh,
let's do it.
That helps.
Yes.
It's interesting that you say that people had been so warm and receptive to you. I've had a lot of friends move to Nashville without sort of a landing pad. They didn't have anybody that they could sort of, get some insider information from. And it's intimidating. And it was a little bit cliquish for them. If they weren't already writers with something to, sort of rest on, they turned tail and run back home, after 6 months because it was scary.
I am very, very lucky. My friend Mike Fiorentino, I mean, he was, come meet this guy, come meet this girl. And, I actually crashed their writers party, their company party, their Christmas party last week. And I went up to the owner. I said, hey, Frank, man, I'm really sorry I crashed your party. And everyone's like, no, you should be here. This is great. We'd love to have you. Come on and hang out. Here's, so it was really cool. And I mean, I can see how it would be cliquish, but I also feel like once you get in that room, everybody's a peer, and it also depends on what you're there to do. If you're there to write, I mean, everybody wants to write because that's all the money is here. So, sure. But I was very fortunate that Mike really took care of me and, put us in a good place. And it's been, so far it's just been fantastic.
Right on, man. I love hearing that. So next plans, then you got volume 2 that you're starting to work on for Yellow Snow and finishing out the year with this holiday theme. Do any live like Christmas shows between now and the end of the year?
So we got nothing left for this year, but we did shoot a bunch of video and a bunch of footage. So I think for next year, we will probably do a 5 to 7 song live kind of album, put 2 new songs on it, do a bunch of the other ones. But I really have a goal to get this to a place where I'd love to see a legit Christmas in Nashville residency where we could play 30 shows a year and just do it. If you could think of a Vegas residency meets Broadway, New York Broadway, and it would be that kind of a show. If you saw in the Sizzle, we also have original content, IP, characters, and all that stuff. So I want to do this really cool, immersive background behind us and then have the music be the forefront, but have something that feels a little bit more Vegas-y, so to speak.
Yeah.
And have that. So that's kind of the goal. And how we get there, I'm not quite sure, but I know that we have a whole bunch of songs ready for the second album, and we just got to do more shows. It's really kind of the crux of it. But after this year, we only played a couple of shows, and everyone wants to play with us. So it's been cool. It's been such a pleasant surprise. I never really set out to be the Christmas guy and to do Christmas music.
Yeah.
But it kind of just organically grew into this thing where we play the show. People have such a great experience at the shows. And it's awesome for us because you're on stage and people really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's a kick for us. And, this year we raised money for a local food pantry. So it's a really good, it's a cool thing to go out and do something nice for people. The audience loves it. The band, all the musicians get a kick out of it. So it's a really cool thing. And I just got to figure out how to get it to that next step. But, so far so good. And like I said, everybody's been receptive. So it's been pretty cool.
Maybe even by accident, but if you picked this theme, because, Christmas, that sort of the holiday spirit is a really positive thing. The fact that you're doing this with charity too and philanthropy, I think it's really cool, man. So I hope that, you mentioned this aspiration to have that show. Hopefully somebody in that scene gets a hold of Yellow Snow and says,
right,
there's an altruistic goal behind this thing. Let's make this thing happen to make the community better,
Yeah, there is. And again, I always, like I said, I never started it out as that project, but as people sort of liked it, I kept saying, well, we could do some good for people. So always sort of give a percentage to charity, do something nice. And, we raise money for people who $5,000 can go a very long way, or $10,000 can go a really long way. And that feels so cool to be able to do that. And it's sort of in the spirit of the holidays and all that kind of stuff. So I love it. And I think it shows. I think it shows both ways, the people who come to support us and us supporting the charity. And it's a cool feeling at all the shows. There's always this really cool vibe that happens. And I'm super proud that we're able to do that.
Right on, man. I am so glad. Hopefully we get a chance to see each other soon. I know we talked about maybe connecting at the NAMM show in Anaheim in
for sure.
a handful of weeks. So make sure, folks, if you're out there and you missed this at the beginning, go check out www.yellowsnowmusic.com and find Mike DiBiase in Nashville the next time you're down there. He'll give you the inside scoop on what's happening off Broadway, right?
That's right.
Well, listen, man, thank you, Anna, for sharing your time with us. And I can't wait to meet Gretch. I hope I get to meet your golden doodle one of these days.
Absolutely. Kevin, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time.
You got it, buddy. Thanks again.